Mr. Bookman here. Before I go ahead and start today's audiobook, do me one small favor. Go ahead and subscribe to the channel. And if you like today's book, make sure you do give it a thumbs up. Also, check out the comments for discussions. But more importantly, make sure you look in the description. You're going to see a link in there that's going to give you access to over 200 ebooks. Now let's dive right into today's book.
The Fine Old English Gentleman. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. Recording by Martin Geeson. Charles Dickens' 200th Anniversary Collection, Volume 2. The Fine Old English Gentleman. New version. To be said or sung at all Conservative dinners. I'll sing you a new ballad, and I'll warrant it first rate, of the days of that old gentleman who had that old estate, when they spent the public money at a bountiful old rate on every mistress, pimp, and scamp, at every noble gate, in the fine old English Tory times. Soon may they come again. The good old laws were garnished well with gibbets, whips, and chains, with fine old English penalties, and fine old English pains, with rebel heads and seas of blood once hot in rebel veins, for all these things were requisite to guard the rich old gains of the fine old English Tory times. Soon may they come again. This brave old code, like Argus, had 100 watchful eyes, and every English peasant had his good old English spies to tempt his starving discontent with fine old English lies, then call the good old yeomanry to stop his peevish cries in the fine old English Tory times. Soon may they come again. The good old times for cutting throats that cried out in their need, the good old times for hunting men who held their fathers' creed, the good old times when William Pitt, as all good men agreed, came down direct from paradise at more than railroad speed. Oh, the fine old English Tory times! When will they come again? In those rare days the press was seldom known to snarl or bark, but sweetly sang of men in power, like any tuneful lark. Grave judges, too, to all their evil deeds were in the dark, and not a man in 20 score knew how to make his mark. Oh, the fine old English Tory times! Soon may they come again. Those were the days for taxes, and for war's infernal din, for scarcity of bread that fine old dowagers might win, for shutting men of letters up through iron bars to grin, because they didn't think the prince was altogether thin. In the fine old English Tory times, soon may they come again. Oh, but tolerance, though slow in flight, is strong-winged in the main, that night must come on these fine days in course of time was plain. The pure old spirit struggled, but its struggles were in vain. A nation's grip was on it, and it died in choking pain. With the fine old English Tory days, all of the olden time. The bright old day now dawns again. The cry runs through the land, in England there shall be dear bread, In Ireland sword and brand, and poverty and ignorance shall swell the rich and grand. So rally round the rulers with the gentle iron hand of the fine old English Tory days. Hail to the coming time! End of the fine old English gentleman.
Mr. Bookman here. I hope you enjoyed today's audiobook. Don't forget to subscribe, like the video, and go ahead and tell us what you thought about the book in the comments. But more importantly, don't forget to check out the description. It's got a link in there that's going to give you access to over 200 ebooks. And we'll see you next time. And remember, you are appreciated.